What is up, guys? It's been a long time. TenThisMan here, bringing another battle. And here's a really awesome YouTube game that I had of a good friend of mine off of Team Aqua. And I battle him a lot, but I never remember his YouTube channel. I don't think he really wanted to be tagged in any way. But without further ado, well, I've got a rather standardish team here, I guess. But I'm running a couple different things I don't normally run, namely a Banded Victini, an offensive Suicune, and a Scarf Togekiss. And he's got a pretty standard team there himself. But without further ado, let's go this battle. So I'm gonna lead off with the Victini just because it's pretty much my best lead against whatever he leads off with. And I'm an adamant bandit, which means my attacks are gonna hurt no matter what he brings in. He is going to lead off with his Zapdos, and I really don't know what kind of Zapdos it is, to be honest. But considering that I'm actually going to attack here first with my U-turn, I immediately alerts me that he is definitely a defensive build because offensive builds are timid. My Victini is adamant. And the good news is, unless he can, can do damage calcs in his head, he probably assumes I'm scarfed. But I'm going to bring out my Rhyperior because I can resist, I obviously resist the T-Bolt and the Heat Wave. And most defensive Zapdoses don't really carry the HP Ice, so I'm not really fearing anything from the Zapdos. But he's going to Roost, which, I guess he anticipated maybe a V-Create first turn, but he's now going to withdraw, and he brings in out his Claydol. I could have predicted that. I was kind of predicting that, but I didn't want to, over-predict. But I probably should have set up my Stealth Rocks right there, but I didn't. But Claydol is definitely his best multi-purpose switch, considering the fact that, it can spin away my rocks that I set up, because to be honest, I actually never set up rocks in this game, which kind of sucks, but they weren't overly necessary, I guess. It could have really helped against his Victini, but, But now I'm going to set up my Shaman, which is, my offensive one. I love using this Shaman. And he's going to set up his Stealth Rocks here, which, is whatever. And, because I kind of predicted the Toxic, just because, it's good getting anything poison since I don't have a Cleric. It'd probably be the best bet, but it gets those rocks up, and that kind of hinders my Togekiss and my own Victini. But, here I predict his switch into Zapdos, which is nice. I'm going to go for the HP Ice here. And I really don't know how much it's going to do to a defensive Zapdos. I don't know if he's physically defensive or especially defensive. I mean, taking from that banded U-turn damage, I have to assume he's physically defensive, and then HP Ice does about half. So, after leftovers, it's going to be close. I don't know if it'll kill or not. It's going to come down to the min-max damage ratio, but I did not want to switch out. I just wanted to go for another HP Ice just because, that's what Shaman does. And, down goes the Zapdos. I actually got more max damage on that hit, which is great. I get a huge wall out of the way. And, yeah, Shaman doing a little bit of work. But now he's going to set out that Victini. I'm very scared of this thing because it frightens me out with both V-Create and U-Turn. So I'm kind of just got to bring in something just to take a hit. So out comes Rhyperior. It best counters his Victini in every way imaginable. He's going to go for a U-Turn for himself, which is perfectly fine. Gives him switch initiative. But I take that U-turn very nicely, and I believe he switches out into his Roserade here, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, it was correct. Out comes that Roserade, and yeah, I really can't stay in here because I don't want anything to, take unnecessary damage. So I'm going to switch out. I believe I'm going to my Togekiss here because it's probably my best Pokemon to face this thing. I wasn't sure if he was a Pokemon or a Roserade that was sashed or what, but he goes for the Sleep Powder. He unfortunately misses, which really sucks, because I didn't know if he had Sleep Powder or not. I was tempted to go into my Shaman as Sleep Fodder because, natural cure. And now he brings out the Claydol, which really is a concerning thing. But I'm going to go for the Air Slash. I probably could have gone for the Trick. I do have Trick on this Togekiss, but I decided it was a little too early to Trick. And technically, I really never tricked during this game. But regardless, now comes my Suicune here, because I really should have gone back into Shaman. I don't know what I was thinking, but now he's going to go for the Toxic, which really sucks. And since this is not a Rest Talker, it's going to cripple my Suicune very badly. So, because I actually carry, this thing is max speed, max special attack. And with Calm Mind, it has Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, and HP Electric for those Azumarill and Empoleons and all that fun stuff. But, Suicune's poisoned here, and I really just got to play a little bit smart. So, I believe he goes back into his Rose right here. I think he thinks that I am a defensive Suicune, but I'm going for the Calm Mind on the switch just so I can get some, a little bit of stat boosting going. And, now I'm pretty sure that I can take any one hit from this Roserade. Not really sure. I don't know if he, is a defensive Roserade or an offensive one. Most offensive ones carry sleep powder, so I'm assuming he's offensive. But I'm going to go for the Ice Beam. He probably realizes right then and there, oh yeah, this guy is offensive, so that Ice Beam puts him in a really low range of health, and he's just going to set up a layer of spikes, which, is not overly worrying, but because you do have my Hitmontop still, which can spin away hazards and such. But he has a Black Sludge instead of lefties, which is fine. And I didn't want to overpredict him this next turn just because, Roserade's just there. I got Ice Beam in. I didn't really want a Hydro Pump or HP Electric on the switch. I didn't think either of which would happen. But down goes that Roserade, which is great. That's Roserade's the top used Pokemon in you, and for a good reason. It's a great grass poke, great supportive, and great attacker. And my Suicune's quickly going down to this Toxic. So I'm just going to make I didn't really want to switch out just because the hazards were up. It's poison. I don't have a Cleric. So I just wanted to hit something hard. And I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump. It's +1. I can assume that's going to do a pretty decent chunk. I mean, I could, if I ran Life Orb, it may have killed. I doubt it would have, but it brings him to a range where he's just going to be able to get off a Substitute, which really sucks. That really puts me in a tight situation here. And, yeah, that really blows. So there's not much I can do about that. But I know that my Suicune's not going to be able to take a Dynamic Punch most likely. So my goal here is just to break its sub and let him kill me. So go for the Ice Beam. Didn't want Hydro Pump to miss. I'm pretty sure a +1 Ice Beam off my max special attack will break its sub, and which it does. And he's going to go for the Dynamic Punch and absolutely push and wreck my shit in. So down goes my Suicune, which is fine. It put in a decent amount of work and, catching him off guard for the most part. But now here's the part where I'm going to bring out my Hitmontop, and this is probably my best shot to Rapid Spin. I really don't care if Hitmontop dies afterward. I mean, I kind of care, but, especially since one of my counters to Cladle's gone. So I'm just going to get off the Intimidate, and I'm going to get off a Rapid Spin here just because it's I want those rocks and that one layer of spikes gone. So, but me doing that apparently leads to a little bad karma because even after, all that fun stuff, he gets a freaking goddamn crit with a Dynamic Punch on my max HP, max defense Hitmontop. So, yeah, screw you, game. I've been getting hacked a little too much as of late, which hasn't been helping, and, that really did not please me. So, I didn't care if Hitmontop got confused. It would have, went forward and probably close combat. But I'm just going to bring up my Togekiss to finish this thing off. Down goes that Machamp, which is nice. And, yeah, he now brings back up that Claydol. And I really don't know what to expect from this thing. I mean, I expect him to Toxic, which is why I'm going to go into my Shaman here. I don't know what. I think he just takes his turn to set up a layer, his Stall Fox up again. Which he does, which is fine. I really don't have too much of a problem with it. And I think this is the turn where I make a humongous overprediction. And, I believe, yes, I go for the Earth Power. I was expecting his Victini to come in. Unfortunately, he stays in. I don't know why. I can switch out at any point because of, the poison and my natural cure. So I really don't think that toxicking my Shaman was his best play. He probably should have just switched out. He could have died there. So, or I guess he just wanted to free switch into his Victini. I guess that's the best bet. But I'm gonna go for Seed Flare. I'm gonna miss. And yeah, that's fun. So he's gonna get off an Earth Power, which is fine. Don't really care too much. Human Resistance. It's not gonna take anything from that, which is great. And yeah, this Claydol's proving to be a pain in the butt. So I'm just going to try to take this thing down. I'm pretty sure Seed Flare will take this thing out in one shot. Problem is, I miss again, and I'm really starting to rage at this point just because it's like, seriously, game, I'm so sick of your shit. Ugh. But, luckily things will turn, they will start turning around eventually, but, I just couldn't believe it. I was just so annoyed. I mean, the overprediction was my fault, but, as further karma, I'm going to get, I would miss my Seed Flare twice in a row, which, it just sucks, and there's really no way I can do anything about it either. But, I didn't really care too much because, I do have the rest, and, I'm going to get all that HP back, which is probably going to discourage him a little bit. So, and, he's just going to deliver another Earth Power because that's really all he can do. And, considering the fact I didn't want anything to be toxic, I'm starting to stay in here, and he gets a crit Earth Power, which didn't really matter too much, but I'm going to stay in as he tries to go for toxic, and he's like, well, shoot, I kind of got to switch. because I didn't want anything to get toxic. I don't have any clerics, so I decided that was my best bet. He's going to bring out his Victini again here, which, you know, is concerning, so because it threatens me out easily. But, now I'm going to switch out, and I believe I go back into my Rhyperior because it's the best thing to take this thing on. So out comes Rhyperior, and Rhyperior is just sitting here pretty, ready to just straw some stuff. And here he actually goes for the V-Create, which kind of surprised me. I kind of anticipated him to go for the U-turn again, but, he just goes for the V-Create, and boom, and I get my shit pushed in a little bit, but doesn't do too much. I mean, I'm guessing he's a Scarf Victini. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like from that damage he's probably Scarfed. So, I'm pretty sure a Bandit would have done a little bit more than that. So, Rhyperior's here, and he's going to withdraw, and I believe he goes into a Azumarill. I could be... Oh, no, he goes back into his Claydol. Here I predict this, though. I predict this very nicely. I'm going to go for the Mega Horn, and boom. That's going to do a very, very hefty chunk to this Claydol, which is amazing. And, you know, that's awesome. It brings him to a very comfortable range where, you know, another Mega Horn or anything else will kill him next turn. So that's very handy. I'm very glad I predicted that just because it definitely was my best play because he can't really do much. Mega Horn would still would have done a crap ton to that Victini. So here I'm going to switch. I'm going to go back into my Togekiss because it's probably my best bet. And he is actually, I believe he's just going to Toxic my Togekiss, which really freaking sucks. And I guess that's what he wanted to do before he died. I could have switched back into Shaman, but I didn't see the point. So, unfortunately, my Scarf Pokemon is now kind of crippled, so, what am I going to do? But, yeah, I believe I just go for the Air Slash these last couple turns. Go for the first Air Slash, and it does a, you know, a decent chunk, or, it lives with a Sliver, and he gets it off a Rapid Spin, which is kind of, it's his only damaging move to hit me with, because I'm immune to Earth Power, and he can't set up Stealth Rocks again, he can't Toxic me again, so, Rapid Spin was his only form of damaging move, and I'm just going to get up another Air Slash, and finally down goes that pain-in-the-butt Claydol, so, down it goes, and my Togekiss is, you know, it's just here, so, now he's going to bring out his Victini, which kind of surprised me. I kind of expected him to go into his Azumarill here. But, you know, my safe assumption is that both of those things are choiced. So, Victini's just going to finish me up with a very awesome-looking Fusion Bolt, which is, you know, fine. And it would have died to Stealth Rocks if I switched it out anyway. But there goes my Togekiss. But that gives me now a free switch to my Rhyperior, which is pretty darn awesome. So, out comes Rhyperior. I am immune to his Fusion Bolt, so he's kind of forced to switch. I'm sorry I'm moving around so much. But now comes the Azumarill, and considering the fact it has that nickname, I know for a fact it's a Banded Azumarill. Because, you know, NBZ, that's the name of his Banded Azumarill. So, and I assumed, you know, that was it. But here I actually thought I was the... my Banded Rhyperior actually carries a lot of speed investment, but this one does not. It has mainly HP and attack. So I thought it was faster for a minute, but I was too lazy to check, so down goes my Rhyperior to that, which is not overly great considering the fact that, you know, I don't have really anything to take much. But at this point, I'm just left with my Victini and my Shaman. He's got his Azumarill on his own Victini. I gotta lock myself into Fusion Bolt, and kaboom! My own beautiful Fusion Bolt is going to easily take down that Azumarill, which is great. Down it goes, and he's down to his last poke, which is that Victini. And he's got to pretty much just, you know, bring down. And he's going to go for the V-Create and, you know, stuff. So, V-Create's going to do a pretty decent chunk to me, and I'm sorry for if you heard the background music. I told him I was narrating, but whatever. And, you know, he's going to defense drops from V-Create. Going to go for the Fusion Bolt again. And boom, it's going to do a very nice chunk to it. So, you know, it has no prior damage. With the defense drop, it's going to bring it down to a very low range. And I'm going to outspeed him on the second turn. I have a feeling it was a speed tie, just because most Scarf Victinis are also adamant. But, guys, that will be the game. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that game. It was a long one, and it's been a while, so it was pretty intense. A lot of hacks, a lot of crazy plays. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Rate, comment, sub, and later, guys.